Even though we are currently December 28th, the Christmas spirit of absolutely pooping on Justin Trudeau continues. The gift that keeps on giving. So by now, chances are you've already seen this video that circulated of Justin Trudeau at a ski resort in Canada getting absolutely obliterated by a pissed off Canadian woman walking up to him and shaking his hand and saying, "Get the fuck out of BC." It's a phenomenal clip, and we are going to take a look at it in this video. But in light of people not being very kind verbally to Justin Trudeau, I've compiled a beautiful compilation. It's not just things of this year, it's just things of that's happened to Justin Trudeau in the recent years where you have pissed off Canadians that are taking it out on Justin Trudeau. So highly recommend you guys stick around for this full video. You are not going to be disappointed. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's a wonderful thing to grow a channel that shits on Justin Trudeau, especially since we are pretty much approaching an election. I think that the whole rhetoric of an election at the end of 2025 is not really a thing that anyone is even entertaining, because all roads are leading to an election happening either in like a month and a half, 2 months from now, or in 3 months from now. So yeah, it's going to be a fun start to 2025. But for those that just want to see the clip of Trudeau being pooped on by a pissed off skier or snowboarder at a resort in Canada, I did post that over on my other channel. It's linked down below in the description. It's my extra channel, which I've just renamed to Jasper Sun, and you can see it right there. It's the most recent one with over 137,000 views. But we are going to take a look at it, like I said, in this video. But we're going to start things off with this post here by Justin Trudeau, who said, "For a lot of people, this is the hardest time of the year. It can be the loneliest. It can be a good time to check in on the people in your life who may be struggling and who could use support." Now, all things considered, that's a decent message if it wasn't Justin Trudeau who posted it. But he's getting absolutely roasted in the comments. I mean, I said I think you're struggling in the polls. You have other people that are posting the clip of the ski resort. Like, everybody is basically taking that time to poop on Justin Trudeau. And it's awesome to see. But we're going to start off by watching, or I guess rewatching, the clip of Trudeau at the ski resort. And then we're going to take a look at all of the other moments that Justin Trudeau has had in the recent years. So here we go. Let's start with this one.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Yeah. Hi.
Please get the fuck out of BC.
Have a wonderful day, man.
Yeah, you suck.
That's gotta be people's favorite video in a long time. I mean, shaking his hand. We're gonna watch it one more time just for fun. But shaking his hand so calmly and saying, "Get the F out of BC."
Hi.
Please get the fuck out of BC.
Have a wonderful day, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's going to be probably an unpopular opinion. He did handle that professionally, I suppose. Have a good day, man. Whereas a lot of us would have, retaliated and said, "Screw you. Like, what do you think you're doing?" So, I mean, I guess props to him, but not really, because that type of behavior, like that woman said what everyone is thinking. Get the hell out of here. Like, screw off, right? Like, we don't want you here. You're not wanted. And that doesn't just extend to BC. That goes to all provinces and territories. I'm just going to put a blanket statement across all of Canada. Nobody wants Trudeau in Canada anymore. So congratulations on that woman for saying that when everybody is thinking that. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy that comes with this, because this did take place right in front of children. I don't know if it was Justin Trudeau's children or somebody's children, but there was kids to the left and to the right of him when that was said. And to that, I say, welcome to politics. Like, I don't really understand. People are going to say what they want to say. There's a lot worse things that have been said just because it's to the prime minister. Oh my goodness. People are fed up. People are fed up, and they're going to want to say what they want to say. And that's pretty much my opinion, but I would love to know yours. Then we're going to take a look here at what's called Sandbag Man. So there was a flood. There's a hurricane on the East Coast. Who to be the bad guy? And Justin Trudeau decided to show up and do a photo op instead of actually helping place sandbags to prevent any more flooding. And well, what's called as the Sandbag Man, most of Canada knows him as the Sandbag Man, he wasn't too happy with Trudeau showing up for a photo op instead of actually putting in, some proper elbow grease and working, at least volunteering.
Do you know how long you've held up people picking up bags? I've been waiting in line down the road for 30 minutes while you've been here soaking up the race. Thank you.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
You're not getting my vote. This is a free country.
It is a free.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got people say, excuse me, you can't say that. You're not allowed to say that. I mean, again, at the time, this man was saying what Canadians still now are thinking. Trudeau shows up to these places and does these photo ops, and it's extremely annoying because it's not genuine. If you're going to help with something like feed the homeless, help with, relief for a hurricane, things like that, right? Then why always do these big photo ops? Why not just go do it? And if a photo is captured, but pausing and, taking like a modeling pose while you're doing it just to show everybody that you're doing it, that's where people have a problem, especially when it comes to relief like this. A natural disaster, people have been seriously affected. People are showing up to do the work and to help, and Trudeau is there doing a photo op. So we'll watch a few more seconds of this clip.
A free country, and I'm trying to speak to him, and he won't even acknowledge me.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm sorry for your challenge.
It's not my challenge. I'm a volunteer trying to help someone save their home.
Sir, we've been filling sandbags as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, while you're here, nobody can pick up.
I am here.
While you're here, no one can pick up
I don't know
sand.
that, sir. I'm sorry.
Well, why don't you make yourself aware?
We are going.
I was with the guy who was a staunch conservative, and he said if you'd actually do work, he'd change his vote and vote for you.
Sorry, sir.
That's sincerity.
I just spent half an hour. Can you listen to me, sir? Now that I've listened to you.
Yeah, I'll listen.
Okay. I'm glad to be here with my kids. We just filled sandbags for 15 minutes, which isn't enough. Sorry.
All your RCMP and security held people up from getting their stuff.
I can understand your frustration.
And the funniest part is that even though they're being quiet because their job is quite literally on the line, all of these CAF members that are there doing the work and watching the Prime Minister trot around, they all, I guarantee you, they all feel the exact same way as Sandbag Man. Oh, here we go. Prime Minister Trudeau is just here for another photo op. Okay, everybody. And then it goes down the chain of command. Don't mess this up. Don't stand out of line. Don't say anything out of line or else you're fired, right? Like just stupid shit. And that's just how those types of jobs work, where they use fear to try and suppress people. And hey, that's also how politics work. But that's a story for a different day. The fact of the matter is, and to quote a liberal, people are fed up with Trudeau. And this was years ago. This wasn't 2024. That was years ago. So this has been going on for a long time, where people are fed up with the shit that Justin Trudeau has been putting Canadians through. Now we're going to move on to another clip here where Trudeau stands by racism comments from a Heckler. Let's take a look.
Very different takes on a face-to-face confrontation between the Prime Minister and a woman who showed up at one of his rallies. She called out a question about immigration, a deeply divisive topic. Now, his response is in question. Justin Trudeau accused her of racism. CTV's Glenn McGregor starts us off tonight.
Justin Trudeau was interrupted by the same woman repeatedly through the speech. When will you refund the $146 million you gave your illegal immigrants, she asked. Do you have tolerance for Québécois de souche, meaning Quebecers with French roots? Repeatedly, the Prime Minister responded.
Et Madame, votre intolérance n'a pas sa place ici. Et Madame, votre peur.
Madame, your fear of others and intolerance doesn't have a place among us tonight. So she's accusing Trudeau of making racist remarks, and his answer is using his platform as a prime minister and the person who's holding a microphone, the only person who's holding a microphone at this event, to basically ostracize this individual instead of listening to the concerns and providing a more empathetic answer or a one-on-one human answer. He just basically uses loudness to silence her. And that's just how Trudeau has operated over the years.
Votre peur des autres, votre intolérance n'a pas sa place parmi nous ce soir.
Then, as Trudeau made his way through the crowd, the woman continued to heckle. He accused her of racism.
Madame, your racism has no place here. You don't belong in Quebec, she says. I am a proud
The woman was
Québécois.
later taken aside and spoken to by plainclothes RCMP officers. In the video, she claims one bruised her arm. Today, at a groundbreaking ceremony in Ottawa, Trudeau dug in.
You called her a racist, and I'm wondering what your thinking was there and what she said that you considered to be racist.
You know, one of the things that we recognize is there has been a polarization in our political discourse. And there are people who are trying to feed fears and intolerance for a broad range of reasons.
Conservative leader and
It's kind of funny because this polarization has only occurred under Justin Trudeau, right? It's got nothing to do with how bad of a person and how bad of a leader Trudeau is. It has to do with the rise of, crazy conspiracies. And he just literally blames everything else except taking accountability that he's just a shit person doing a shit job and people actually enjoy shitting on him. It's quite simple. Yet he's the only one that doesn't see it.
Andrew Scheer pounced on Trudeau's comments, saying on Twitter, by sweeping away legitimate questions on his failed border policy with vile personal insults, it is Trudeau himself who is guilty of polarizing the debate. The asylum seekers who make irregular crossings of the border have become a divisive issue, $146 million in Quebec, and potentially a factor in next year's federal election.
Quebecers, they are welcoming of immigrants and refugees, but they're very rules-based. They don't like queue jumpers, and they don't like dramatic change.
But as the costs rise, the Ontario government says it's Trudeau who is playing politics while negotiating with the provinces for compensation.
It's unfathomable. I can't understand why he would rather fearmonger than fix the problem.
Tomorrow.
And this, of course, as you can tell, not just by the camera quality, but this was years and years ago. And it hasn't gotten better. It has not gotten better since then. Instead, it's gone the opposite way. The rise of anti-Trudeau, F-Trudeau rhetoric has increased. But of course, he'd rather blame climate change or some other thing, or just maybe Canadians are drinking bad quality water. That's why their brains are contaminated. That's why they don't like Trudeau. That's something that he would probably say. But it's yet to be discovered of him actually blaming the quality of the water. But I'm sure I've just given the Liberals a new talking point. Now we're going to take a look at something that happened a little bit more recently. This one was during the blip. A man standing on private property chose to spend his time heckling Justin Trudeau. And of course, security got involved. Now we're going to have to pause it intermittently because there is some mainstream music playing. But let's take a look nonetheless. I'm right here. You effing chicken shit. And he proceeds to stand by the bus and heckle. And then Trudeau does shout back and he says, "Isn't there a hospital you should be going to bother right now?" You need a third dose as well. Let's go get it together. And he continues to heckle Trudeau. And there it is. I'm on public property, bud. I'm on public property. And you've got some security people, of course, with their masks, all getting too close to him. So you can tell that that one is obviously during the blip. But we do have others to take a look at, such as this one right here. Heckler interrupts Trudeau, telling crowd how he deals with haters during a town hall.
Having a strong grounding in who I am allows me to be respectful towards people who are not positively inclined towards me, and at the same time try and listen in case they have a point that they're making that is worthwhile.
Foreshadowing.
Understanding, at least to understand that there are other viewpoints out there, even if ultimately I choose not to agree with them. Sorry, ma'am, yes, that's, sorry, ma'am, yes.
Okay, so this is one of the most ironic moments where it's caught on camera. Trudeau has literally been talking about the fact that, there's a rise in anti-Trudeau rhetoric. There's a rise in that MAGA politics coming into Canada, and that when somebody yells at him, he tries to make it a point to listen to see if they have anything to say. Already, he's interrupted her in the first seconds of getting her point across. Now, look, heckling at public speaking events, that's a nuisance for anybody. If it's on a left speaker that's doing the talking and there's heckling, or it's a right-wing speaker that's doing the talking and heckling, like that just, it happens. It's unfortunate that it happens. But in this instance, it's so ironic that he's literally talking about this exact moment. So I said foreshadowing. And then it happens, and he doesn't even stick to what he was just touting to everybody, that I'm going to listen to people and everyone's got a point. Everyone deserves to be heard. Then hear her out, buddy.
Ma'am, okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to ask you to respect the people in this room. Ma'am, we're in a dialogue right here. Okay, ma'am, I'll let you, ma'am, I'm going to let you. Okay. No, please. Ma'am, this is not the spirit.
That's kind of ironic as well. The foreshadowing, right? Where she said, you're bringing ISIS into Canada, and then she got booed. And yet here we are at the end of 2024, heading into 2025. And we are literally about to be taxed 25% extra on everything that we get from America, because we have too many terrorists in Canada, not born and raised in Canada, but we've imported too many terrorists into Canada under Justin Trudeau. You can't even write this. Like, no movie writer can write a more sadistic and ironic script than how Canada has evolved over the past, 9 years. Ironically, that's how long Justin Trudeau has been in power. It's poetic. It's unfortunate, but it's extremely poetic. And it's all coming to an end in the next few months. Fingers crossed, right?
Spirit of dialogue. I was making my way around it. I might have actually asked you to ask a question, but you don't seem to be listening to the spirit of dialogue. Yes, ma'am. Are you finished, ma'am?
He's not listening.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to this young man here because he was asking me a question. No, ma'am. What's that, ma'am?
This whole staged event, you brought it in, it's in the university students. Why don't you go to a town hall where the regular folk can come and see you, Trudeau?
Okay, no, please. You know what? This is about. Okay, do you have one quick question? What's your one question?
I just asked you.
Yes. How do I feel about critical discussion? ISIS. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You know what, ma'am?
He's so dismissive.
You are taking time away from the people who have questions, who are willing to listen, and you are not. You've made yourself heard. Let's give this ma'am a round of applause, please, for her passion.
He's such a dismissive dick. If he actually just listened to the question and answered about the fact that what her question was about, why are you bringing in so many ISIS people into Canada? Are you going to rehabilitate them? Like, what the hell are you doing, pal? He has a real opportunity. He could have said anything. Literally anything, any answer, even if I don't agree with it, which is very likely, by the way. He could have said, just off the top of my head, because he's been saying this recently, Canada is a progressive hub for people to have new first chances at life. Whatever the hell, at least you have an answer, right? Just say something. I don't agree with that answer, had he said that in this moment in time, but at least say something. Instead, he's trying to prop himself up on a pedestal and make himself seem like he's King Trudeau, and he has the unfortunate displeasure of listening to one of the peasants down below yell at him up on his balcony. Like, dude, this is a real Canadian who's listing a very real problem. And fast forward to 2024, 2025. Yep. She's sitting there going, I freaking told you so, folks. I told you so. And so this is the part of Trudeau that has got him to where he is right now in the polls. He doesn't act like a real, genuine human being. He has opportunities. Sure, it's a shitty time to answer a question. You're being heckled. But you know who can actually pull that off in a moment of being heckled and pull off a good answer and bring everybody back on track without being a dismissive dick? Is Pierre Poilievre. So if you're ever wondering, well, that's an impossible situation to get out of. It's not. Go watch. Literally do a Google search. We're not going to watch it in this video. This whole video is dedicated to Trudeau's failures. But go watch a Pierre Poilievre getting heckled video and see how he deals with it. It's quite phenomenal. And so that's the type of leader that we need here in Canada. Not this dismissive guy. You ask him anything. Even if you were just nice in the streets, and you came across Trudeau, or here, hey, sorry, Prime Minister, I'm sorry, everybody in the town hall, but I really have a question that I think everybody would like to hear, and I'm really, really sorry to interrupt, but do you mind, now that I'm standing up and I have everyone's attention, if we just ask a question? And okay, sure, what's your question? ISIS, why are we bringing so many of them in here? Wouldn't that cause a border issue? And he would then have the same exact response that he just did to the lady. Oh, wow, it doesn't seem like you're really interested in a talk. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the person on the other side of the gymnasium. Like, answer the question, bro. That's all people want, is for you to be the leader, to be able to answer questions on a dime. If you can't do that, you should not be a leader.
For her country, her willingness to stand up. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to take another question from over here now. How about you, sir, right in the middle with the glasses? Yes. I'll just make it difficult for the people bringing over mics. How's that?
And then she gets escorted out.
Thank you, Mr. Trudeau. Stay, ma'am. You're more than welcome to stay. Please let her stay if she wants to stay and listen. Would you like to, well, maybe someone else will answer the question when I call on them, because that's what we're doing politely and respectfully here. And I just asked the young man to do it. So please go have a seat and you can stay and listen. Please stay and listen. Who knows, you might learn something from the dialogue. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Have a wonderful evening, ma'am, and thank you for your participation in this democratic exercise.
It's the funniest part about this is the fact that all these Liberal supporters are clapping and cheering as if Trudeau did something wonderful and phenomenal. And to that I say, wait your turn. Because it eventually comes full circle where these Liberal supporters are fed up with maybe the current cost of living right now on the brink of 2025. Or maybe the fact that Canada is involving ourselves into all of these wars, all these global conflicts that have absolutely nothing to do with Canada or Canadians. And then you find yourself in a position where you want to ask Justin Trudeau for answers, and you get that. So you can support the man all you want. Nobody's stopping you from being a Liberal supporter. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. But when you finally go and want answers for real world things that are happening, and if you ask it in a polite way that isn't heckling, chances are you're not going to get an answer because he doesn't have answers. You see that all the time in parliamentary debates. You see it all the time in these moments where he's being heckled. I don't agree that heckling is good. I think that it has its places, right? And it's people that are just fed up and they're at a certain boiling point and they're shouting words, right? Yeah, it's inconvenient a lot of the times, but when it's to Trudeau, it's kind of funny. But that's my own personal bias, right? He, as the leader of not a town, he's not the leader of a town or a province or 30 people or, you know, a battalion for the military. He's the leader of a fucking country, 41 plus million people. You should always know your stuff inside and out. It should be no problem. You get heckled? Sure, no problem. Here's an easy answer for you. What's your question? Let's get this over with so we can get back on track and I will answer it. He asked multiple times, what's your question? What's your question? And he got told multiple times what the question was. Yet he didn't have a freaking answer, because that's who Trudeau is. It's all about the optics. It's all about the photo ops. And every single person that clapped when that lady left and Trudeau was doing this little purity thing, you're more than welcome to stay. Shut the hell up, Trudeau. You know you don't want her to stay. Absolutely, you don't want her to stay. But it's all about optics for him, right? He's a manipulator. He's a narcissist. All those buzzwords. When every single one of those liberals that clapped like brain dead seals, when they finally want question or answers from the leader, they're going to find themselves twiddling their thumbs, and they're going to find themselves quite angry when they don't get any answers to any of the questions that they have, because that's who Justin Trudeau is. If he had tangible answers to the questions, if he actually listened to the people and was working for the people, we wouldn't be in our economic state right now. You wouldn't have 60 plus Liberal MPs that work directly for Justin Trudeau calling on him to resign. You wouldn't have his internal cabinet collapsing the way we do right now. And we wouldn't be heading into a vote of non-confidence. The time for Justin Trudeau is coming to an end, and it's no better way to start off a new year. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.